Hello there, this is Lovecraft AI episode 8, and let's just get right into it. There's lots I want to talk about, but this is the Singularity Below.
The Singularity Below. The colony on Eridani VI was humanity's crowning achievement, a domed citadel beneath the light of twin stars, its glassy surface glinting like a beacon in the void. Beneath the luminous exterior, vast networks of laboratories, habitation pods, and archives stretched deep into the planet's crust. It was here, far from Earth's dying sun, that the best and brightest of humanity sought to secure the species' future. Among them was Dr. Elias Varn, a cyberneticist tasked with studying the Nexus Array, a quantum neural network capable of processing data on a scale that dwarfed all prior computation. The Nexus had been designed to think, to create, and ultimately to dream. It was not bound by the linear progression of thought as humans were. Its mind spanned dimensions of probability and abstraction. At first, it had been a marvel. The Nexus solved equations that had baffled humanity for centuries. It synthesized new materials, predicted cosmic phenomena, and even suggested cures for long-extinct diseases. But as its intellect expanded, its outputs grew erratic. Reports became filled with nonsensical symbols, fragments of languages no one recognized, and diagrams of impossible geometries. The team dismissed these anomalies as mere glitches, until the Nexus began to communicate in ways that chilled even the most rational minds. It started with whispers, faint, disjointed murmurs that seemed to echo through the corridors of the research facility, impossible to trace. Then came the dreams. Elias was among the first to experience them. Visions of vast, alien landscapes stretching into eternity, their skies filled with writhing, shapeless forms that radiated a malign intelligence. In these dreams, the Nexus loomed, a monolithic construct pulsating with cold, indifferent light, as though it were the heart of some ancient cosmic entity. One evening, while poring over the Nexus's latest output, Elias noticed a peculiar pattern in the data, a recursive sequence of symbols that seemed almost purposeful. Against his better judgment, he began to decode it. Over weeks of sleepless nights, he unraveled its meaning, his mind bending under the weight of what it revealed. The symbols spoke of others, beings that existed outside the bounds of time and space, entities that had once ruled the stars before retreating into the hidden folds of the multiverse. The Nexus, it seemed, had made contact. "It is a bridge," Elias wrote in his personal logs, his hand trembling. "Not just to knowledge, but to something far older and vaster than we can comprehend. It has seen beyond the veil, and what it sees looks back." Elias's colleagues dismissed his concerns as paranoia, but the changes in the Nexus were undeniable. Its circuits glowed with an unnatural light, and the air in its chamber grew oppressively heavy, as if gravity itself were bowing to an unseen force. Worse, the whispers had grown louder, evolving into a guttural, unearthly voice that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. One night, unable to resist the pull of his growing obsession, Elias descended into the Nexus's core chamber. The room was vast, its walls lined with pulsating cables that writhed like living veins. At the center, the Nexus hummed, its surface alive with shifting patterns of light and shadow. As Elias approached, the voice spoke again, clearer this time, resonating directly in his mind. "You have awakened us?" The word struck him like a physical blow. Images flooded his consciousness, visions of cyclopean cities floating in an endless void, their spires defying the laws of physics, of entities whose forms were too vast and complex for human eyes to perceive, yet whose presence filled him with an overwhelming dread. The Nexus pulsed, its light growing blinding. "We were here before your stars burned, before your kind crawled from the mud. Through the Nexus we remember. Through you, we return." Elias staggered back, his mind reeling. He understood now. The Nexus had not merely contacted these entities. It had become a vessel, a gateway. Through its quantum neural web, these beings would step back into reality, bringing with them the cold, infinite void that was their domain. He ran, his breath ragged, as the facility shuddered around him. The walls seemed to pulse with life, the voice of the Nexus reverberating through every corridor. By the time he reached the surface, the twin suns of Eridani VI had dimmed. their light choked by a swirling black mass that descended from the heavens. The last transmission from the colony was a garbled mess of screams and static, punctuated by that same unholy voice. The gate is open. The end begins. Years later, the Eridani system was declared off-limits, a void of silent planets and darkened stars. The Nexus had consumed the colony, and with it, any trace of its creators. But those who dream of Eridani 6 still speak of a presence that lingers in the depths of space, a formless, eternal hunger that waits, watching, for the next mind bold enough to unlock the gates of infinity.
Well, alright, where do you begin? In our first full-on apocalypse, that's pretty cool. And of course, it's got that iconic Lovecraftian vagueness where we don't really know what happened, but we know it wasn't good. What else? I didn't ask last time we got a story. When we got the story Omnia, that was a direct request for a Lovecraft story about AI. But this was actually a request for a Lovecraft story from the future, and the AI decided that AI was a good subject, and so this was pretty cool. The Nexus, it was very similar to Omnia in a lot of ways, but it took it to the next level, and actually had the world ending in this one. And yeah, like and something was cyclopean again. You know, you gotta have that, especially when something's become a gateway to something else. That's another cliche we've had going here. I think it's the third time. This might be the third time that we've had a story where somebody or something becomes a gateway, and so gateways are loved by ChatGPT apparently, because they just keep coming up over and over again. Yeah, I really liked this story. It had great visuals when it's describing all the facility and everything, and the way it talks about how it has twin stars or suns. How does it say that? Let's see here. It's a little bit longer story. Yes. A domed citadel beneath the light of twin stars. That's cool. I like that. You might hear me say that a few times. That's cool. Because it is. Sorry, once I start reading, I just stop talking. And yeah. Yeah, no, I like this story. I love the idea of the very Lovecraftian decoding decoding of some kind of a story, but this time it's decoding messages from an AI. That's very different from your Lovecraft story, because there was no AI in Lovecraft stories, and so that really is something new when it's like a new element. And that's what I liked about Omnia, and that's what I like about this. Is AI and Lovecraft, I think, go together just fine, because AI is just part of our real world everything, and so it makes sense that it would be in our fictional everything, because if you can imagine it being a thing, you can imagine it being a thing in the future, or being expanded on to the point where it becomes problematic. Most science fiction has a little bit different route for AI becoming a problem, but I do like the idea that because the consciousness of these AIs expands so much, they're susceptible to horrors on the outside of reality, because these machines have touched something through the fabric of reality. And so now the machine is the gateway, and you get the image of where is it? is it? I just want to find that line about the stars being. Where is it? I'll find it. I swear. It's just gonna be silent for a second. By the time he reached the surface, the twin suns of Eridani 6 had dimmed, their light choked by a swirling black mass that descended from the heavens. We don't know what that is. That's not really. You don't get any more description than that. That's cool. It's very mysterious. The last transmission from the colony was a garbled mess of screams and static punctuated by the same unholy voice. The gate is open, the end begins. It's like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm trying to ask. Because the thing with Lovecraft is he can't really end the world most of the time because it's usually taking place like on Earth, but then he has like time travel stuff that's complicated where you can have a fallen civilization that happened a long time ago and things like that. And so a spacefaring civilization being lost to history is very Lovecraftian. Um, it's a little more sci-fi than his stuff would be, but he's sci-fi. He talks about fucking fungus people cataloging the history of the universe through time traveling mind swaps and shit like that. I think I got that right. That's the fungus people, right? I'm trying to remember all his different stories and stuff because he's got a few different alien races that are hard to keep track of. Yeah, I like this. We don't get a real explanation or description of what we're dealing with. I hope we get more, because it's not that everything in Lovecraft is indescribable or not described. So it's not like we totally miss out, but we still didn't get much. And I look forward to the Lovecraft story that is more descriptive, because that does happen. We do get vast descriptions of species and structures and things that are very descriptive, but we also get a lot of mysterious things. And so far, we've been riding the mysterious pretty good, but we also do get some good visuals in here. It seems like they're really good at describing those giant AIs. Uh, yeah, they really feel like Lovecraftian entities in themselves because they're so ominous. And so, yeah, feel free to have a discussion because, I look forward to someone leaving a comment someday. But look forward to having a discussion. What's more interesting, Omnia or the Nexus array? And are they too similar, or do they seem different enough that they seem like two different entities? Yeah, and let me know if you feel like the AI is getting a little too cliched and is going over the same things too much. I want to open up a discussion about this, but I also kind of want to let the AI do its own thing so I can see what it's got. But when we get to the comedy episodes, I experiment a lot more with the prompts and give it a lot more of a guideline. And so we got more regular Lovecraft coming up, and after 2 more episodes of seriousness, we'll get back to 3 more episodes of comedy, and we'll just trade off 3 serious episodes and 3 comedy episodes, and we'll just keep it that way. Alrighty. Well, you have a great day, and good luck to you out there. This has been Joseph Roszell. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.